A Magic 6 Pro long-term experience report. Let's get started. So I have here my Magic 6 Pro that I had now for long-term experience. For more than a month I used this device as successor to the Nubia Z60 Ultra that I was using earlier, and I'm now recording with the successor to the Magic 6 Pro, which is the Huawei Pura 70 Ultra. Magic Mate almost sounds the same. Anyway, the Magic 6 Pro and my experience report you get here first-handed, because this device feels like home. Especially for a Huawei, long-term Huawei user, especially with the UI and the cameras and the look and the feel of the device itself. I already almost called it Mate because it reminds me a lot about the Mate series and what made the Mate series so great. First of all, the cameras here on the back in the circular kind of orientation or circular kind of design, and then of course the 3D face unlock and scanner in its pill shape cutout now in the center, but doesn't really matter. And of course the whole fit and finish of this device is pretty good. It reminds me of the glorious days of Huawei devices with a very good fit and finish in terms of the design. But of course what reminds me the most about Huawei devices, why I feel so at home with this device, is Magic OS 8, which is like, we can say a fork from EmuUI. So Emotion UI that Huawei was using, it was always some kind of fork, but now as they split apart, it is getting even more splitted in a way. But this has also some good points, because we see some new features here and functions that are unique to Magic OS and that I really like. And no, I'm not talking about this Magic Capsule that you see here that is basically a dynamic island kind of clone. No, what I'm talking about are some other features and functions that are very cool. Like when I have something like here, I can just drag it out to the Magic Portal, and there I can just perform a search or copy this text into an email or chat message. This is, I think, a very unique feature that is very handy on this device, and I like it a lot. But also some other features that annoyed me on Emotion UI always were like, here I can use this to go into my control center or my notifications, depending on where I swipe on the home screen. So swiping here, going to notifications, here to my control center, which is, I think, a nice addition. And Huawei still omits this configurable feature that is not so hard to implement. You just go into your settings and you just open up another menu that allows you to either Honor Search or Huawei Search, and then you can have also notifications and control center. So it's not black magic here what Honor is doing, but those are those little nifty things that feel like it's an improvement. The other thing you see already on the desktop are those folders. We know already large folders, but we can also stretch them out to those kinds of folders. And we even have the possibility, if I have an application, maybe ShareMe has some options like send files or receive files, I can just drag it out and have those options that are available as context menu options, basically directly here on the screen. So I can directly say I want to send files, and it will go directly into the send file option. And the same goes for other applications that have those long press extra options. Another thing we can talk about the Honor Magic 6 Pro is of course connectivity. You notice if you have Hawkeyes that I don't have a SIM card inside here, because it is already inside my Pura 70 Ultra that is recording here right now. But the cool thing is I get very good reception, 5G, no issues at all, back like we used to know from Huawei in the good old days. Excellent reception for calls, for data, not only for mobile data, but also Wi-Fi, for example, gets very good downloads and upload speed, which is, I think, very handy indeed. Then of course music, sound. very nice. We have a bottom firing speaker. I have this MagSafe kind of case on, but we have a bottom firing speaker there and a top firing speaker, so we get stereo kind of sound. It is getting pretty loud. It has a bit of bass there, a bit of highs. It's not the best that I heard, but it is adequate for what this device offers here. So it is playing in the same league as other top flagship devices in or for that matter. This one here performs as a first-class citizen with Google Apps, for example. Google Wallet, no issue. Netflix in full HD, no issue. We have this gorgeous kind of screen that is perfect for outdoors viewing. Yeah, much of sun going on, but even in the sun I didn't have any issues. I tweeted about it already, being impressed by the screen getting very, very bright. Readability in the sun light because of this very bright and good screen. And on top of this, even if it gets a bit dimmer and the screen has to dim down, the PWM dimming is so high that you don't get any tired eyes out of it, besides the normal tirement that you will have probably if you stay up awake too long. But this is very, very good, and I didn't notice that, but maybe I'm getting older there, but yes, I notice a difference using this before going to sleep or using any other phone that has a bit of higher lower PWM dimming, so higher flickering rate basically, that this one here keeps me less awake in the night because of this higher dimming frequency, which is PWM frequency, which is over 4,000 I think, or 3,000 something. This is incredibly good for protecting your eyes there. And they have some other options there. If you go into your settings, you can find under the display options lots of display options that help you to ease the comfort for your eyes. The dark mode settings are there, for example. You can schedule them, which is pretty nice. But we have eye comfort and sleep, where you can turn on the circadian night display, which is fancy word for true tone that Apple also introduced a couple of years ago. So the proximity sensor built up on there will adjust to the colors around you. So if you have a warm light in the evening, for example, it will also turn the screen a little bit warmer there. And you can have eye comfort mode enabled, which makes the screen a bit warmer anyways, to filter out blue light, which helps also with your sleeping cycles. And we have the filter level that we can set up here, and you get some interesting options here as well, like dynamic dimming and the 4320 Hz ultra high frequency PWM dimming that I was talking earlier about. So lots of screen features that we have here, and it's definitely one of the best screens out there currently on a smartphone. Running around all day might require a large battery, and gladly we have the silicon carbon battery technology that makes the device relatively thin. I have a case now on, but relatively thin to what we have inside here. 5600 milliampere hours will last you a very long time. As you can see here, it tells me 20 hours and 30 minutes. Of course, I don't have a SIM card inside, but keep in mind you get like a 9 to 10 hours screen on time, definitely, if not even more. One time I got like 11 hours and 30 minutes, which is very, very tremendous kind of work that they put in here. And this is intelligent software that is like in the background, sometimes also killing apps, but gladly not those social media apps that we use here in the West, like Twitter, Mastodon, Telegram and so on. Those not so much, but some other apps that might need a little bit more power, like here KineMaster, CapCut and so on. So those video editors might be killed in the background. Otherwise, with 12 gigs of RAM, we have no issues with the system. We're having everything nicely fluid in memory without any issues. So if I go in here and go back to Chrome, you can see it's again here without any issues. So it's 12 gigs of RAM here, no issues at all. Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 on board, so no issues there at all. Also with the speed and performance, there is a slight dip, so they have to throttle a little bit because the thermal management is not the best. So count about like 70% max in terms of stability when it comes to 3D live wildlife extreme stress test, but in every day-to-day usage, the only thing where you might notice that a little bit is like when you are you're doing high recordings there in 4K 60 frames per second in the sun, and then the screen might dim down a little bit as well. But usually when you're just out and about and running around, you can see the screen is like not dimming at all. Even in summer, I was using it just a couple of weeks ago. We had really summer with 30 degrees and so on. Nowadays it's a bit colder, like only 20. But nevertheless, it is a very good combination of battery, screen, performance and RAM. Talking a bit about software and the usual kind of things that I count when I'm like doing those kind of long-term experience reports. Email application. Yes, we have an email application on our email, which is basically a fork of Huawei email, and it's working fine. It even has a landscape mode, which is quite nice. Can I show it to you? Maybe I can show it to you with this email there. You can see it even has a landscape mode here, and which is very, very handy, because indeed I have my emails on the right and I can see the email that I have opened on the left and the email that I've opened on the right, and I can scroll through, but I can also make this email a bit larger, so I have a desktop kind of experience, desktop email experience, which is very, very handy. And the email client is working fine, apart from DHL tracking emails in Germany, at least. If I click on the link to track it, it says this tracking code cannot be found, because there's a long-standing bug with the HTML rendering engine there on the email application, because it's somehow breaking the link there. Already reported for, I think I reported it in Huawei times still, but sadly Honor didn't fix it here with their email application. Nevertheless, email application is very nice. The file manager is very nice as well. The file manager has this functionality. You can see all your files and datas there. You can also share those files and datas, which is quite nice. And there's even a save option, as well as some settings that allow you to automatically save files, show hidden files and such things. So it is pretty handy. And there's also a file cleaner available and the possibility to tag files and so on. If you copy files to an external drive, which I usually do, it will save the last location it copied to. So if I have my external drive plugged in and I want to copy something from my internal drive to the external drive, it automatically jumps into the directory that I last copied on the external drive, or internal drive even onto, which is a quite nice and handy feature. But I would like to have a history just like Vivo is doing it. It would be a slight nitpick here that I could improve, I think, with the Honor Magic OS and their file manager. Otherwise, we have a nice gallery application that has also some AI features, like lately we got AI removing applications, which allows us to remove obstacles in photos, for example. I'm still waiting for this to come here, but Magic OS on the Honor 200 Pro already has this, which is, I think, a very nice feature, so I'm still waiting for it to get here. Yeah, I'm home again, and let's talk a bit about the nitpicks or issues that I had with the Magic 6 Pro. Gladly, there are not so many. There's one thing that only occurred once, but I nevertheless want to tell you about this. I have on my list here, is that I once had internet connection shown, mobile internet connection that is, but I couldn't connect to any website or anything at all. And even the airplane mode turning on and 5 minutes waiting and turning airplane mode off didn't help. The only thing that helped was a restart of the device, and then I had 5G connectivity again and could connect to websites and download applications. Some other nitpicks that I have, especially when you get it for new, there's some bloatware installed on this Booking.com and the usual crap that you get when you're buying like phones with Western kind of services. And also I think some folders with some suggestions for applications that why it's not necessary to have this thing. And then there's some weird quirks with the UI that I want to show you. Like when you want to create a hotspot, you can press and hold upon the hotspot, and you can see I have the super secure password set up. Nevertheless, if I turn on the hotspot, it is not showing me any QR code that I can give to the other person to connect to my hotspot. So I have to tell them my password. There's no option to show the QR code here, which is a bit of a bummer, because otherwise, in Wi-Fi settings, for example, it is able to show you the QR code of the Wi-Fi that you are connected to. I just edited this a little bit so you cannot scan this QR code, but it's a bit weird that there's no QR code generation for the personal hotspot, which makes it a lot easier to share this personal hotspot with another person. And then there are the cameras. Are they a huge disappointment? Not completely, but they are a bit of a disappointment, especially the 180 megapixel telezoom lens with a large sensor that promises a lot of zoom, but actually fails at this. So it's only good for the 2.5 times and up to 5 times zoom options there, which is I think 135 millimeter if I'm not completely mistaken there. This is the sweet spot. If you zoom in further, then it gets not so good and cannot compete even with other flagship devices in that zoom range. And portraits are also a bit lackluster, at least until now, because the Hardcore portrait style that the Honor 200 Pro, for example, already got, we are still waiting for the Honor Magic 6 Pro to get this as well, because I think this will raise the quality of portraits a little bit more, because nowadays portraits are more and more focused in the high flagship kind of camera smartphones, but Honor is like failing slightly there as well with the portraits. They got improved over time with the latest updates, but they're still not on par to compete with the top in the line camera smartphones for sure. Let's take a look at the ranking and what points I give this. First of all, performance. Performance is good all over the place, 4.8 points. It's very good, very fluid. magicOS 8 got some updates that make it more fluid even. Yes, it has some difficulties with getting the full speed in 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme, but this is a corner case. Everything else that you do is super fluid with this Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, no issues at all. Fantastic is battery life. It's one of the best battery lives that I got on this smartphone kind of device, especially when it comes to like, it's even better than the Nubia Z60 Ultra that has a 6000 mAh battery, and this only has a 5600 mAh battery. But they use a new battery tech. They have some more optimizations that ever so slightly make it a little bit better there in terms of battery life. No issues with battery life. Absolutely fantastic, and top score almost with 4.8 points is the display. The resolution is great, the brightness is good, the colors, the refresh rate and the viewing angles are very good. Circadian night display, PWM dimming on another level. This is one of the top flagship displays, and the same goes for build quality. It is not as good as the best that I had so far, the Oppo Find X7 Ultra, but it's very, very close by with the material, the design, water and dust resistance and drop resistance being on par there. Software experience is by far the best that I had so far. User interface and user experience is very good. The updates come more or less regular on my global device so far. So I know that in the past Honor was not so great there, but I think for this device and also the Honor 200 series, they are really upping their game there. Could be still a bit better, I would say, but it's really, really good so far. Bloatware is a bit of a negative point there, downsize. Customization is good. I wish they would also give us the possibility to have like the depth effect for the lock screen that is still missing, so a feature that Xiaomi, for example, has already. And yeah, in general, I think pretty good. Cameras, we already know, 4.440 points there. It's a pretty solid rank. I think they're on rank 7 right now, together with the Mate 60 Pro or Mate 50 Pro. I'm not so sure about it. And I can check it out here. I can just click on it and you can see here 4.4 points. And I cannot check it out. I have to go to the other ranking system. But nevertheless, very, very good there. Connectivity is very good. Very good. It's slightly worse than the Oppo Find X7 Ultra, especially with cellular, where I had one time like this issue and I'm calculating it in. That gives it a bit of a nitpick there, but it's 4.875 points. It's nearly perfect. It's very, very good. Storage is the same, no expandability there possible, so we only have 4.09 points there. Audio and haptics is pretty good there. The speaker get loud, the headphone quality is nice, recordings are nice, and the vibration motor is also nice, but it's not used everywhere. This is why it's not getting the highest points there. But when it's there, it is doing a nice job, which is what I like. Security features are nice. The fingerprint reader is very quick. Face recognition is 3D face unlock, so it gets the highest score there. Encryption is also probably it's the highest score there as well, with the security chips that I have on board to encrypt everything. Just the security patches are something where I would say, just with updates, they're a bit still behind. This is why I only have 4.5 points, which leaves us with the ranking overall, which is the top number one, the Magic 6 Pro with 4.672 points. So it is overtaking the Oppo Find X7 Ultra in terms of performance, which is surprising. I thought the Oppo Find X7 Ultra was already very, very quick, but it has some slowdowns here and there. It is not the performance that you think of in benchmarks or games, because they're on top. It is more the RAM performance, what the Magic is keeping in RAM versus the Oppo, and there the Magic just keeps a little bit more things in RAM, which allows multitasking to be a bit fluid and easier. Battery life is a huge win for the for the Magic 6 Pro. Oppo's behind there, way behind there actually, when it comes to the battery life. In real terms, probably won't notice that so much, but at standby drain is way, way higher there. So battery life is on par, slightly bit better than the Nubia Z60 Ultra here, with a slightly smaller kind of battery, which is very impressive. So we have very impressive battery life, and we have the highest score for display ever here in my ranking system, as you can see here, with 4.8 points, just almost near perfect display. And when I'm thinking about, I have here the Magic 6 RSR before me with tandem OLED, with even a brighter display, with even better battery life, I have to think giving it a 5 out of 5 points there, because it is even better there, but it's slightly better only than the Magic 6 Pro, but this is like something that counts here. In terms of build quality, the Magic 6 Pro is very well built. It is slightly better than the Nubia Z60 Ultra and slightly better than the Xiaomi 14 and the Mate X3 there for that matter. It's slightly worse than the Oppo Find X7 Ultra, but very, very good. Software experience, I like it the most, the software here, even more than the Huawei software as you see here on the Mate X3. Because of some little things like swipe down to get to your notifications or control center. The Magic Portal is very nice. And yes, even the Magic, what is it called? Magic Island? No. the Magic Capsule is nice to look at and to interact with, even though it has some experience issues. Sometimes like it leaves a pop-up there, even though I closed YouTube, for example, it still have the YouTube control there. Cameras is not the best, as you can see here. There's like the Vivo and the Oppo that are better, and some others are close by as well. But connectivity is very good, but it's not beating the Oppo in that case. The cellular is a bit weaker there, and also not beating the Xiaomi 14, which is quite interesting there. So Xiaomi up to their game as well, but it's almost on par as with the Mate X3 there for that matter. The Mate X3, keep in mind, only has 4G, no 5G, is still very, very good there. Storage wise, like I said, not much of what you can do. Audio and haptics is something I think where they can improve. It is not so much that the haptics are bad or the audio is bad. It is just the recording quality could be a slightly bit better, and I think that the haptics should be used more throughout the system, because this is very lackluster right now, and this is where Xiaomi 14 is kicking it, though we only get 4 points here for the Xiaomi 14. Nothing to do with the haptics, has something to do with the very bad audio recording, especially with the external microphones. Nevertheless, the Oppo is better, and everything else is like a bit weaker there when it comes to this. Security features is something where it is the highest right now, because it got the security chip there, it gets regular updates there as well, and has 3D face unlock, which is can be used also for banking transfers and so on, which is very secure, plus your fingerprint reader, which is also very secure. So you have it, my top #1 ranking smartphone so far. I'm also a bit surprised, because from the usage I would like say, oh, the Oppo Find X7 Ultra is also very nice there, but you can see, yes, the Magic 6 Pro gets a little bit more points there than the Oppo Find X7 Ultra or even the Vivo X100 Pro. More will be added here, and no, I'm not always adding the newest phone that I tested on the top. It just happens to happen, and you see with the Nubia that it's rank 4 only here. So yeah, we'll see how it will develop with the Pura 70 Ultra that I will test next time. All in all, however, the Magic 6 Pro is definitely a recommendation for all Huawei users that are still holding on to your Huawei P30 Pro, the last one that has Google services on board. and they want to upgrade to something familiar but with Google services, then the Honor Magic 6 Pro is definitely worthwhile. If you have a little bit more money, maybe the Honor Magic 6 RSR that I also have with me is a slight upgrade to it, especially if you get it for a cheaper price, because 8,900 euros are incredibly too expensive. But when it comes to 1,300 euros, what I paid for it, definitely something. This one here you can get for 1,000 euros, I think, and even less right now on the used market, especially the Honor Magic 6 Pro. And with its good battery life, good or fantastic kind of display, good speakers, okayish kind of camera system there. Actually a good camera system, it is in the top 10, I think. And yeah, overall a very good package with fast charging, wireless charging and good battery life. This one is definitely a keeper, the Honor Magic 6 Pro. This is my long-term experience report about the Honor Magic 6 Pro. And what comes next is, I think, very interesting for some people, because I'm recording right now already with the Huawei Pura 70 Ultra. That will be the next device that I will do a long-term experience report upon. But not only here in Germany, where I will start using it, but also I will fly to China in this month, and I will in this month test out this device also in China, how it holds up there, how it can keep up, and I will use it for vlogging as well. And there might be a slight little sneak peek there. I have another side channel. Before it was called Leszek in New Zealand and China, but now I renamed it Leszek on the Move, I think it is called now. And I want to do some reports there as well. What you will find on there is some German videos where I was in New Zealand and telling my relatives what's going on in New Zealand, how everything's working there. But in the future there will be English speaking videos as well. There will be, first of all, videos about Wesel, which is this new city that I'm living in, and some special features there about this as well, very short videos. And there will be some videos, of course, of China and in China as well. So stay tuned and subscribe there as well if you want to stay up to date when it comes to this. If you want to stay up to date to tech as well, I'm trying to do my best to get videos out also from China, and maybe some tech videos there, maybe some tech products will come out there as well. That might be interesting, worth trying out there. I will do some videos there as well, as good as it is possible, you know, Great Firewall of China and family visit, lots of things that you have to do there, take care of. So it might be a bit of a busy kind of week nevertheless. Hopefully we will have a report then on the Pura 70 Ultra's long-term experience as well. That's it for this video. If you have some questions regarding the Honor Magic 6 Pro, write them down in the comment section. Until the next time, bye.